What's up, everyone? FBU Nation, we are back. It's the legend himself, Anthony Bevilacqua, alongside my host here, Vince Gabriel, the birthday boy himself. So, as we record this, I don't know when this is coming out, but as we record this, Vince's birthday is tomorrow. So, happy birthday, Vince! I wish we had some cake and candles here.
The
Maybe
the
we could.
team brought in a bunch of presents for me, and I am eating cannoli chips. I put cannoli chips in my oatmeal today.
Hey, my wife loves this cannoli dip. Like they sell this cannoli
Yeah,
dip
that's
over there.
exactly what it
Oh
is.
my
Yeah,
God, it's
it's
so
it's
good.
it's basically cannoli chips that have a dip in it. But
Yeah.
I crumpled up the cannoli chips and put them in my oatmeal today. So it was great. It was actually really good.
Are you a cannoli fan? You like
Uh,
cannolis?
I like cannolis. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice, man. So how old are you turning, man?
I'm gonna be 42. Very exciting. Yeah,
Nice.
very exciting.
Nice. I remember I freaked out when I turned 30. It was like one of those years when I turned 30, I freaked out. It was one of those numbers like, oh my God. So talk to me, you're a little bit older than me. So 42, are you like it's hard to get older, right? Like you kind of know you want it to stop after a certain point. So tell me, what's the insight at 42? What's your
Here's the
normal?
thing. I feel like I'm in year one of the second half of my life. Maybe even, I mean, there's an argument that, you know, um, y a lot of people are living to 100, these days, right? So if you think about it, like I'm 42, if I live to 100, that's 60 more years. That's a long time,
Yep.
to be living. So, the way I look at it is I really am enjoying this part of my life. I really am. I enjoy raising kids, as challenging as it is sometimes. I'm enjoying the process. I love that, and this is why like I'm a junkie for personal growth is just like I love seeing like how much better you can become as a person, throughout your life. And since I've started the journey of that, of learning about myself, and sometimes learning things that I don't really love to know, but it's sometimes all progress starts with the truth. It's really a cool thing. So I'm really enjoying, the process. I really am. I'm enjoying the process of growth and learning, and it's I'm having a really good time. I really am. I enjoy almost every day of my life.
That's
Almost.
great, man. That's good. I mean, it should
Yeah.
be that way, right?
No,
That's how it should
I
be.
feel very grateful. I feel very grateful. I have a great wife. I got three awesome kids. I'm healthy, so I'm all good.
Good,
Yeah.
man. So, what do you want for your birthday? What's the gift that you're looking for, huh? Come on, there's got to
I
be
don't want
something you
shit.
want. I
I
mean,
don't want
you
shit.
talked. Don't lie, man. You talked
I
about your
don't.
little He-Man toy the other day.
Yeah, but I don't. I already have that, so I don't want that. No, I don't. I'm good. I have everything, I possibly can need. I have, going out with my college buddy has a birthday a day before me, so we always go out to dinner. I'm going out to dinner with him tonight. Vanessa's gonna, have a barbecue for us, and so I just, I'm good. I don't need anything that you know what I love what I love the most is getting text messages from you guys like about how you're doing and the growth that you're seeing and stuff, and that's the stuff that's gifts to me, seeing the impact that some of the work that I'm doing is having in your lives and your family's lives. Like that's all I could ever ask for. So I mean, you know there's nothing I really need. I'm good.
All right, man. Well, from all of us here at the FBU Nation, well, happy birthday. Should we sing?
Thanks, brother. No, we're
Should
good.
we
We're
sing?
good.
Should we sing? Should
Yeah.
we do a sing? We'll let everyone sing together, all right, for Vince's birthday.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure.
technically,
First rule about what you should know: no one gives a shit about your birthday.
that's not true. Not when you're Vince Gabriel, man.
No, no,
A
no.
lot of people care about you, man. I knew it was your
Yeah.
birthday yet
Did
tomorrow.
you?
I
Yeah.
knew it was your birthday. I got something
That's
special planned.
yeah, very nice. Very nice.
All right, guys. Well, listen, I want you guys to head on over to
Yeah.
Vince's Instagram and wish him a happy birthday. So if you're listening to this, Go over there, wish him a happy birthday. Let's make his day. Tell him how good your business is doing because of this podcast.
Thanks,
So I forgot
guys.
about the title, man. I was so excited to announce your birthday. I forgot about the title today.
So,
So
so,
today,
oh, you got it? Okay.
yeah, I got it, man. I got it. So today we're going to talk about how to break through burnout as a gym owner. So we kind of touched upon this the other day. So this
Yeah.
is going to be like the next step to it. So
Yeah.
let's get rolling, man. What are the 5 steps?
Yeah, no, I got a lot of feedback from the last podcast. I had a lot of gym owners email me about this one, a lot of private messages that, I spoke to some people about when your business kind of hits this wall and hits this plateau. And remember, if you didn't listen to last week, you should really go back and listen to it. But I talked about like, what are 3 potential reasons why your business could get stuck, right? And just to recap, there are reasons where one, it could be a personal issue, right? You're going through some stuff that's possibly causing you to for your business to slow down. The second thing, it's a departmental issue, and that's what I talked about. It could be, something to do with your marketing or your staffing or something like that. And then the third one is the structure of your business is just messed up. And I use the example of, hey, you've been doing one-on-one for years, and you're just not making the money you can anymore, and all your trainers are exhausted, and you need to change the structure to like something like a semi-private or something like that, right? And so the number one cause is usually personal, and the big one is burnout, right? That you're going through burnout, and that's what's affecting your business because you're not doing well. And the majority of, probably the most used quote I've ever given is, the number one chokehold on a business is the psychology of the owner. And I've said that many, many times. I'll continue to say that. I've learned it right from Tony Robbins, and it's very, very true. And so when you're going through burnout, there's some specific things that need to be addressed when you are. Now, I jotted these down as things that, because I've gone through burnout myself, and I started to think about when I went through burnout personally, what were the things that I actually did. And I can think on the lines of probably 2 different times I was burnt out. And I remember the second time that I was burnt out, my health was a major issue that I had ignored, and I had allowed myself to boil in a soup of stress hormones. And I think that that's probably number one, is when you're burnt out, you must first address your personal health. I don't know if burnout is even possible and being perfectly healthy, both physically and mentally, right? I don't know if it's possible. Like, have you ever talked to someone that I'm fried, I'm burnt out, but I I feel the best I've ever felt. My thoughts are clear and everything's going, you know what I'm saying? So I do think that majority of burnouts, there's going to be some impact on your personal health. And when I say personal health, I'm talking physically and mentally. Physically and mentally. Okay? So number one is, and again, with this first one, I'm preaching to the choir, right? But I'm kind of not, because I was shocked when some of the first seminars I went to in the fitness industry, how out of shape some fitness professionals really are.
So true.
Right? I was shocked when the first seminar I went to was in LA, and Tom Platz was the facilitator. And there was a wide range. There were some people that, this was an ISSA seminar. So there were some people that were just brick shit houses and wore tank tops and spandex. And like, this was back in 2002 or 3 or something.
Remember those like pajama pants they used to
wear?
Yeah.
But there were some people that were just like straight up bodybuilder, like just yoked. Right. And then there was other people that were just like, they looked exhausted. Like, you can see the look on their faces. They were just tired, and they were just, kind of cooked, right? And I think that sometimes it's like you've heard the saying that the what is it, the cobbler's kids have holes in their shoes, right? Sometimes when you do something for a living, you can tend to ignore it, right? And again, AB, this has never ever happened to you, which I think that is part of the reason why you've been going strong. But the reality is, I think a lot of gym owners or personal trainers that turn into gym owners, they almost underestimate the physical challenges of it, the stress combined with the physical nature of the business. And they think that just it's almost like this rite of passage that they're in the fitness industry, so they're going to be okay. Right. Their health is going to be okay because they're in the fitness industry. And that can't be further from the truth. And in fact, owning a gym is a stressful thing to do. Signing a lease, having employees, all of this is stressful. And if you're not managing your own personal health, and here's the other thing too, what's something, AB, that equates to being a gym owner? Really early mornings and a lot of times really late nights, which does not bode for well with sleep patterns, right? So, I mean, that's the thing, is like, you may think, all right, why is Vince preaching to gym owners about being fit and shape? Because there's a lot of people listening to this need to hear this right now. There's a lot of people that they are burnt out, and their personal health, both physically and mentally, right, is a big cause of the reason. And if I'm going to work with anyone that's burnt out, this is number one, is that you need a plan to get your shit together for your health, for your nutrition. And I think that a lot of guys in our industry, AB, they lift. And they go to the gym and they lift. And as long as they lift, they're fine. Well, I will tell you this. Your biggest asset as a business owner is not how much you lift. It's not how much you deadlift. It's not how much muscle mass you have. Your asset as a business owner is your brain. Is your brain, 100%. And you must treat that with the utmost respect and importance. So number one, sleep, right? Is sleep. Now, there's a lot of different things on sleep. I'm not going to unpack. I am not a sleep expert. I've gone through insomnia myself. The worst period of my life is when I went through one bout of insomnia, and it was the easiest I can pinpoint it. It was the worst times of my life when I went through insomnia, 100%. So I've been through it, and it is brutal. Brutal. If you are going through insomnia right now, you need to get help immediately. Immediately. It is very risky for your life to have insomnia. So if that is, and I only say this is because I've been close to it in terms of I've gone through insomnia, and it is not fun. But even if it's not insomnia, even if it's just really, 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 really bad sleep, that's the first thing I would do is get that on track, get one of those sleep trackers, get an Oura Ring or something like that that tells you where you're at. There's all kinds of different like research on how much sleep do you need and all that stuff. I'm not the expert to tell you this. The normal rule of thumb is, 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, but I can't remember the name of the book I recently read. You actually can take, if you actually, the website I believe is chronoquiz.com.
Oh, I did that.
Yeah.
The sleep test.
Yeah. So there's a sleep test.
What did you get?
So I was a dolphin.
Oh, okay. I was a bear.
Yeah. And the dolphin. So it's funny because the dolphin, I used to always force myself to go to bed really early to get more sleep. But again, when you've gone through bouts of insomnia, you automatically go into dolphin category, right? And so I now go to bed at like 11:30 at night. So I go to bed really late now, and I wake up at 6:30. I'm still getting used to it. And I don't know if it's something I'm going to stick with forever. But so the website is chronoquiz.com, and it tells you kind of it's almost like a personality test for your sleep pattern. I would read the book. It's some pretty interesting stuff. I can't remember the title of the book, and I can't even remember the name, but I do know that Chrono Quiz is like kind of tells you, how much, when you should go to bed, when you should be waking up and stuff like that. So sleep is huge. Obviously that's probably the number one thing, for your brain, right? Your heart, right? Sometimes gym owners that are lifters, they forget that one organ that is pretty important for your energy, right? You're not going to like lose every ounce of muscle you have if you start doing some cardio, right? So like if you may need to start, and I know AB is going to disagree with me here, but hell, if you're going to like maybe want to have energy throughout your day and you want to start feeling better, maybe you got to do some cardio. Maybe you could do some interval training. Maybe you need some steady state walking and getting your heart rate to 120 beats a minute and keeping it there for 60 minutes while you listen to this podcast or something like that, right? So you got to train your heart, right? You got to treat your brain well, okay? So you treat your brain well by not giving yourself shitty food. Look at what you eat and be like, and is this piece of food helping me or hurting me have a good brain? Right? And if you're drinking too much and if you're eating too shit food and you're not doing it, it's not, your brain's not going to function as well. So you almost have to start treating your own personal health as like you are this like very high performance vehicle to be able to run a gym. You have to have this thing in check, right? There's all these programs out there that are working on this for entrepreneurs all the time. My buddy Brett Klicka is he's a teacher for the Institute of Human Performance, where he goes down in Florida and he teaches entrepreneurs how to eat better and how to work out. And that's like he's talking to like lawyers and accountants and like that kind of stuff. We have the knowledge. We already know what to do, but sometimes we just lose sight of it because the schedule gets bad. So I would say if you're burnt out, number one is you need a personal health plan. And I will say this, you may need to get someone else to write your programs for you. You may need, so I have Charlie Weingroff write my strength programs for me, right? So I don't go to the gym and I don't have to decide what I want to do. I just have, I'm not like as into it as I used to be. So I just talk to Charlie, who's the smartest mind on the planet at this stuff. And I have Charlie write my workouts for me and I just go do the gym and I do what Charlie says. Right. And so that's something. So you may need to get someone to tell you what to do. You may need to hire a coach for yourself. Now, some of you don't need this. And some of you are like, all right, Vince, move on to the next one. All right. But I know that there are people listening to this right now that you're out of shape and you're not taking care of your body.
I never understood that. I honestly never understood that. I never understood.
Well, then
that.
you have to read about human behavior a little bit more.
I understand how it can happen. Like I get that, but you are the product of your environment, right? You're around fitness. I mean, you just got to block it in. It's just like anything else. We sit here and tell our clients what to do, what not to do, but it's the same thing with yourself. Now, I time block every day. This is my set time to work out every day. It's a non-negotiable. And it's the same thing that you guys got to do for yourself. This is an investment that you're making in yourself. That time, it helps me unwind. It helps me to think clearer. I get out like anxiety that way. And then again, there's other things that I do for my brain too. Like you mentioned, that's really important too. So, my brain, I like to brain dump. That really helps me to get everything out. So that's something that I do. It doesn't have to be this big elaborate plan. It doesn't have to be, complicated. Okay, every day from 12 to 1, that's my time to work out. That's it. Just put it in your schedule and then just make it a non-negotiable. 12, that's when I work out. And the same thing with your eating. Don't go crazy. You don't have to make it like this big elaborate plan. Keep it simple. I have my 3 staple meals that I have every day, 7 days a week, because it's just convenient and easy for me. It makes it something I don't have to think about. And if you could make it something that you don't have to think about, then you don't have to worry about it. And I think as a gym owner, you have 1,000 different decisions to make all day. And with your health and fitness, you kind of want that on autopilot almost, because you know what you should and shouldn't be doing. Set up a plan for yourself and just put it on autopilot. And very, very simple. It's not that hard.
But I think that the big takeaway here is that you're making an investment in taking care of your brain.
Right.
That's why you need to do this, because as a business owner, your number one asset is your brain. And when you lose sight of your personal health, that thing does not work as well. And when that thing does not work as well, your business will suffer. So, you know, the reality of this is, and I was saying this on the last call we just had, I walk around my neighborhood, right? And it's 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm walking backwards in my neighborhood and I'm just like, you know, just not really walking really slow. And I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking about what ideas I want to implement. And I see all like the other, there's like these wives around and they got their yoga pants on and they're drinking their coffee and they're walking around. They see me in the neighborhood and they're like, oh, this guy must be like a trust fund baby or something. Like, why isn't he at work? Why isn't he walking around? Like, what is he doing?
Vince,
And
they're not asking those questions. They're asking, why the hell is this guy walking backwards down the street? That's what they're asking.
That could be true too. That could be true too. But
that's really the question they're asking.
But the reality is that is my work, right? That is my work. My work is my thinking. And that's one of the things I think you got to realize is you get paid to think.
I have something I want to say about that too. You can go ahead with your thought, but I want to say something.
So you get paid to think. And if your brain and your body is not in the right frame of mind, you're just shutting down any idea flow that could come into your business and you're in survival mode.
Right.
So in order to be able to do that, you got to be able to have time to do it, but two, you got to be able to feel a certain way to be able to do it.
Agreed. You know, you had brought up something to us a long time ago about the men that built America. It was a show on the History Channel. And I don't know if you caught up to it, but recently they had like spin-offs on it. Food that changed America, innovations or inventions that changed America. And they talk about different things other than like, you know, the timeline of history. So they talked about like pizza, like Domino's. They talked about how the nuggets came about. Really interesting stuff, actually.
Cool.
And I'm sitting there, I'm just watching it the other day. And I don't watch much TV, but I like those kind of shows because they inspire me to think. And I'm like, these guys were so successful in what they did, not because of what they actually did, but because they had time to think. And the problem nowadays, and I realize this with myself, everything is this. Everything is this. Your phone. It's a constant distraction. It's binging, it's going off. And if it's not you, it's the kids. There's other distractions everywhere. And that's the difference between where we're at currently and where everyone was at back then. There was no distraction. So the guys who, you know, had Domino's Pizza and Pizza Hut, what they did, they went to work. There was no distractions unless the phone actually rang. They had time to think, how can I make this business better? And I think that we take putting this away for granted. Like, I know, like, I think it's almost like a dopamine hit for me to open my phone and have a notification, someone messaging me or someone inquiring about training. It's bad. It's not a good thing. It's very, very bad. And I think that, you know, that's having that time to think. And I don't know if I should say the name on this podcast because it's probably like not good, but I heard him say this and it was like, I was like blown away by how simple this tip was. So this person, if you guys follow him, you'll know who I'm talking about, but he put, you know, those rifle headphones, like they look like headphones, but you put them on your ears to block out every sound. So when you shoot guns, it doesn't hurt your ears. So what he does is he puts his phone in the other room. He puts those on his head and he just spends an hour in that place thinking. And that kind of hit me. It's like that, in addition to other things, I'm like, wow, you know, that's really, really important because we have this distraction with us all the time. Like, look, I have notifications on my phone now. So it's like, you have to get away from that stuff. You have to have time to think. So my long rant is that you have to put this away and pretend you're in the 70s and when they didn't have any of that stuff, and close yourself in and work without anything. No computers, nothing, paper and pen.
It's a brilliant point, and I'm as guilty as anyone else of getting
hard.
You know, it is, and
very hard.
You know, but it's part of your life, and you know, you got to be able to put it in another room, or you know, and the best productivity tip. And again, we're off track a little bit, but that's okay.
Big time.
But the best productivity tip would be to set a timer for a certain amount of time and work on one project at a time. And work on that one project for 60 minutes and then don't do anything else and have your phone in another room. And if you can string together 1 to 4 of those a day, man, you're going to just be ultra productive.
And I love to do that. I think the best time to do that is either super early in the morning, super early. I'm just not, I can't get up at 4 a.m. I mean, I could, but I don't like getting up that early to do that. But late at night, when the kids are asleep, your phone's not going to go off because they're not going to get text messages or anything like that. That's, I think between like 10 and 11 is the best time to do that because there's literally no distractions. The world around you is sleeping.
I tell you, the whole chrono quiz thing I talked about, it gave me like another 2 to 3 hours of life where I could do stuff, because I was always like forcing myself to go to bed at 10 o'clock. And now it's like, oh, I don't have to go to bed till 11:30. And I'm like getting all kinds of stuff done. I've actually, I can't believe it took me this long, but I've actually been learning how to speed read. And I read my first full book in an hour the other night, which was really awesome. And highlight, I have a whole process I follow with highlighting the book and stuff like that. But like, I wouldn't have done that if I was in bed at 10 o'clock. So, and again, as we're saying, getting your sleep, you take the quiz and see where you're at and what you need. Okay. So
yeah, number two, roll into number two.
So number 2 is getting your money in check. Okay. Getting your money in check. Now, if you're listening to this and you're burnt out and you don't have a money problem, then you are okay, right? Then you have to address other things. But the majority of people that I've seen that are burnt out, they have worries on their mind about money. Okay. And so I'll follow the number one thing that you need to have. And this is something my best friend, Mike Waldron, always teaches, is that your business needs a cash cushion. If your business does not have a cash cushion, you'll always be running your business from your heels. You'll always be, running your business based on fear. You'll never be able to invest as you should in your business. Now, here's the other thing too. One of my main principles in marketing is understanding and knowing lifetime value, right? And an example is this. Last week, I sent a text message to an organization, and I said, hey, I'd like to donate $1,000 to your program in exchange for 2 emails to promote mine. And they said, of course. Well, how did I come up with $1,000? And you might think like, well, is $1,000? That's kind of a lot of money for 2 emails. But I knew the quality of the list, and I knew that we were going to get a lot more than $1,000 worth of business from this one thing. The problem is, if you don't have any cash reserves and you're running so lean, you're not going to make a decision like that. And failure to make decisions and investments like that will always keep you at bay. So it's a very, very important point that you have to have some kind of a cash cushion. And if you don't have a cash cushion, that's the first thing you need to start doing. You need to have some kind of a security blanket of 3 to 6 months of expenses that's in a savings account or something like that, that is peace of mind for you. This thing's stressful as it is. But without some peace of mind financially, to have that little backup plan, to have that little, now, if you're one of those people that likes to live on the edge and you don't need it and you're totally fine risking everything you got, well, you're a tougher, stronger man than me, right? But for the rest of us that like to have some security, then that's probably like a really smart decision. The next thing is your home finances. You almost got to treat your home finances like your business finances, right? And obviously you don't have the tax benefits from your personal standpoint, but you should have a cash cushion in your personal savings. All right. You should live on a budget, right? Even if you make a lot of money, you still should probably live on some kind of a personal budget and not be dipping into your business and spending all your money on personal stuff, right? So that's the second thing is start, and this is another thing from Mike Waldron, is start to treat your personal like your business, where you're looking at your revenue, you're looking at your expenses, and you're not exceeding. Like, how many of you look at that, right? You have to look at that. You look at your P&L for your business, but can you look and see on a month, we brought in this much money from the gym, and I spent, like, let's say you took a salary of $8,000, but you spent 10. Well, you're going to run out of money at some point if you keep doing that. So it's important for you to see that. So that's really all I want to touch on. If you have those two things, if your personal finances are in check, you're out of debt, you got some cushion, and your business finances, you have some kind of a cushion, and you're somewhat profitable, that should give you, get you out of that burnout grind mode, right? That should get you out of that that fight or flight, or that big fear of not. And now I like, me personally, I like to have I invest in the market, and I have money in the market that I have as also as backup and investments and stuff like that. So you have that. That's even a bonus. But in terms of what we're talking about to get out of burnout, man, you're going to be really burnt out if you're always constantly worried and stressed about money.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I know you follow Dave Ramsey. I know you're a big fan of him too, like me. But his 7 baby steps are key. So if you're struggling with money and saving and all that stuff, just Google that. You don't even have to listen to Dave Ramsey. Just Google his 7 baby steps and literally follow that, and that will help you get on track with money.
Yeah, and that's more of a personal finance, right? Dave Ramsey talks about that.
I think you could add that to business. Like, I think the principles of it are the same. Like, I think you could add that to business, like apply it to business. Just might be a little bit different.
For sure. Yeah. No, and whoever is your guy, I mean, there's Dave Ramsey, Ramit Sethi talks a lot about money and wealth.
I have something. And you ever hear of profit first? I mean, I know you have, but
yeah.
For those listening, that's another principle that I love to follow too. Although I don't have 9 different bank accounts where everything goes to, like he recommends in the book. I think it's just as simple as having a savings bank account and a regular one. And then, okay, what did I make this week? What's left over? That goes, and pay yourself first. I think it's just keeping it that simple. The whole thing with him and 9 different bank accounts is a little much.
That book pisses a lot of financial people off, because it's like they have to manage all the different bank accounts and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I get it, but it's like at the same time, it's not that practical. I get it. I get the principles of it, but.
So we're recapping here. So 1, if you're burnt out right now, address your health. Get that shit together. Get that stuff in check. All right, that's first. Second thing is have your money in check. Okay, make sure you're building towards some cash cushions, both on business side and personal side. Here's number 3, is get your priorities in check in terms of your role with your company. Your role with your company. The fastest way for you to be burned out, okay, as the gym owner, and this is usually what I say, but the burnout is coming from you're doing too many sessions. You're working too much in your business, and the business lives and dies with the work that you do. And if you remove yourself, everything falls apart. And so what you need to start doing is you need to start looking at your schedule and what are the things that you're doing on a daily basis, and how can you replace some of those things for higher value activities. Okay, so the example is, and if I could just go down the accountability chart, you have admin that ranges from 10 to 15 bucks an hour. You have trainer that ranges anywhere.
Can you pay someone $10 an hour?
Yes.
You can?
Absolutely.
I thought, is the minimum wage like 15?
No.
Oh,
I don't know the minimum wages. We'll have to do we have a fact checker on this podcast?
I don't know, but I don't think it's $10, man. I don't think you can pay anyone $10 unless it's commission. I don't know.
No, I think, again, I was just giving a range here.
Right.
So
don't hold him to don't.
Yeah. I was just throwing numbers out. But you have 15 to 25 for a trainer, right? And then if you had a salesperson, maybe it's like 30 to 40. And then if you have, a marketing person, it's maybe 50 to 60, right? Let's just say, and if you have, someone that's running your business, you're going to pay them a lot more, right? But the reality is, start to look at the value of your time. As a business owner, you're the most important person to your business. So if you're spending a lot of your human energy hours on the lowest value activities, that is going to burn you out. Because your business is not going to get a return on those activities as much as it would get a return on the higher value activities. You'll get a much higher value activity out of thinking of a good marketing idea than you will from training a session, or than you will from checking someone in on MindBody. So you have to start to look at your priorities and what are you doing for your company. And you only have a finite amount of time every day. And to start to shift your schedule, not to have to do this overnight, but to start to shift from all the low value activities and replace those with higher value activities. So
that's huge. That was huge for me this year, especially.
That is number 3, and that's a big one. And we could probably do a podcast on that one, and we probably should. Yeah. I know I did address this in great detail with the CEO Mastermind pretty recently, but that's a really
that was my whole last time. My whole hot seat was basically that.
Was getting out of the day-to-day.
Well, more of investing in myself, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're investing to get time back. And you talk about this so many times too. It's like you have to invest in the staff to get your time back.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons why your finances need to be in check, because if your finances aren't in check, then it's really hard for you to invest. If you have no money, you'll always be in that cycle. Right. So that is so the action step here for you guys is start to, take an inventory of your day and how much are you working in the lower value activities? How many hours are you spending doing $15 an hour work? How many hours of the day are you spending $20 an hour work? And what do you need to do to shift to the higher stuff? Right. That's number 3.
All right, let's go to number 4. Reestablishing the vision.
Yeah, so this is important. And a lot of times people just, when they get burnt out, they just get into this Groundhog Day, right? Where they just keep going and they go in, they show up to work and they go home and leave, and then they come back and they do it the next day. And they've totally lost touch with the vision and also the purpose of their business. I heard a quote recently. He says, guy named I never have heard of him before, which I can't believe, but he's an internet marketing hero. He's trained a lot of the top guys, but his name is Rich Sheffrin, and he basically said at the seminar I was at, he said something along the lines of the guys that have a purpose beyond themselves never run out of energy. Right. So you almost got to reconnect with if your business is about you showing up and you working hard and you trying to make sure you make enough money to be able to put food on the table, that's going to be a hard, you got to do that in the beginning, right? We all go through that process, but at some point it's got to be about being something beyond you. And when you work at something beyond you, it's much, much harder to get burnt out. But the second part of that is the direction and knowing where you're going. And Tom Plummer has a great quote. He basically says, if you don't know where you're going, no one can help you. And I really, truly believe that's very, very true. And I think that when you get burnt out, you just see what's in front of you like 10 feet and you can't see where you're going. You've totally forgotten and lost touch with it. So the first thing that I would do is reestablish and start to ask yourself, where do I want this thing to be in a year? And start with a year, right? Don't worry about 10 years from now. Don't worry about 5 years from now, because if you don't even know what the day is going to be like, it's going to be hard to see the future. So just start to plan it out and say, if I'm having this conversation, a year from today, what has to have happened for me to feel happy with my progress? And you got to write that out, and you got to answer that question, and you got to lay it out and have a picture of it. I mean, the best business exercise I've ever learned is from Ari Weinzweig, and it's visioning, and it's writing a story about what success looks like in the future. So if you've lost touch and you're a little burnt out, you've probably lost connection with where you want your business to go. And maybe you've never actually even thought about it. And it's probably time to start doing that. So I would Google visioning with Ari Weinswig or Zingerman's visioning, something in that category. And I'd see what, you can do to get things back on track. But if you don't know where you're going, no one can help you. That's number 4.
Number 5, getting the right person on the bus.
Yeah, it's so this kind of somewhat relates to number 3. There's a couple things that are going on here. There's nothing more fatiguing than working with people that you don't like to work with. That is a very draining situation, especially if some of those people have a negative energy to them. And I know that there's people that work in gyms that can have that. Now, one of my main, I don't know if you remember this, AB, but when we started COVID, I had a bunch of rules during COVID that I kept preaching over and over and over again. I said a lot of times I said the same stuff over and over and over again. But one of the things I said most was, if you end COVID with people on your team that you wanted to get rid of before COVID, you should check yourself into an insane asylum. That's essentially if COVID did, and here's the thing: if you went through COVID and you didn't let someone go that you've wanted to let go for years, they are with you for life. You might as well tattoo their face on your chest, because they are not going anywhere. Because if COVID didn't get rid of that person, nothing will. So the whole point of getting the right people on the bus is it's very draining to work with problem employees. It's very draining to show off and be like, oh, I got to see that person again. It's very draining to have to deal with their problems over and over and over again. And so the first thing you need to do to get the right people on the bus is get the wrong people off the bus. Some of you listening to this are like, son of a bitch. But at the end of the day, it's the hard decisions that we got to make, right? That are going to make or break our success. There's like, if you have the wrong person on your team right now, they're just dragging your business through the mud. So the first step in getting the right people on the bus is to get the wrong people off. Get them out. Let them go. Cut them at the knees. They don't deserve to be there. And you're gonna, if you continue to be a nice guy, it's only gonna hurt you. So you got to think about that person on your team right now that you don't even want there. And you keep them there because of fear of conflict. You keep them there because of fear of, oh, well, they may not be able to find another job, or they've been with me for 7 years. How could they let them go? No, bunch of crap. If they're the wrong person and they're draining your, Dan Kennedy has this saying, is if I have someone in my life that I wake up thinking about for more than 3 days and I'm not sleeping with them, they got to go. So if you wake up and every morning you're thinking about this person, and here's the thing, I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of keeping people too long. I'm guilty. I've gone through this, but I can say this with 100% certainty, is that sometimes you have to make hard decisions that are the best thing for the business. And a lot of times the best thing for the business is the best thing for you, to help free you up and get you out of that. So the best way to get the right people on the bus is to get the wrong people off the bus. And then once you have the right people on the bus, then you can start to revert to number 3, right? Which is get your priorities in check and start getting stuff off your plate and getting it into the hands of people that you trust.
also think too with that, Vince, and I hate to give him credit because he has his own football jersey on the wall in his office, but Dan Goodman, he actually had gave me a piece of advice that I've been running with it lately, and it's so true. Diving into those people, I do weekly one-on-one, sit downs with them, and that makes a huge difference because they're your first line of defense, especially your trainers and whoever else, your head trainers, whatever it is. They're your first line of defense. So the same thing with clients, we have to, push into that relationship. You have to do the same thing with those people because if they all get the vision and you start to click and you guys start to form such a stronger bond like that, that person's going to bat for you 1,000 times if you're there just to listen to them. So those weekly meetings have been huge in bringing the team together. And I started doing them recently, and I'm really starting to see the business run in the simple fact that like they actually care about the clients that are coming in. It's insane. All because I spend a half hour of my time, every week to listen to them about their problems and investing time with them. It's paying me back so much more return. And I think that you need to do that because it helps to, they're saving you. They're saving your time there. Again, you lose those people who are on the front line and you're back into a different position that you don't want to be in. You don't want to be back on the floor training. So you need to invest in those people to make sure that they're that good front line of defense.
That's great advice from CEO member Dan Goodman, who co-owns Varsity House Gym with Joe Riggio. Those guys are doing a hell of a job over there. But so that's great input, AB. So that's it. Get your health in check, get your money in check, get your priorities in check, reestablish your vision, and get the right people on the bus. And that is how you start chipping away at this burnout thing. But it's a real thing. It's a big problem, and it kind of I know there's a lot of people that are going to listen to this that are going through burnout right now. But I will say it is not a death sentence. You can get through burnout, you can get back on track, but there's certain specific things that you're going to need to do to get there. I'd love to hear if you are struggling with this. I'd love to hear about it, and if there's anything you can do to help me. This is not like a call to action to download a book or anything like that. If you're struggling and you need help, send me a personal email, vince@gabrielfitness.com, and love to chat with you and see how I can help. Mike Boyle said to me years and years and years ago when he met with me and took 3 hours of his time to meet with me, I said, what can I do to help you? And he said, just pay it forward. So this is me paying it forward. If you're struggling out there with burnout and you need some help, send me a message privately to my email, vince@gabrielfitness.com, and happy to help you out in any way that I can. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this gives you at least 1 to 2 action steps that you can use to get back on track. And I think we will see you on the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.